Hi, YouTube world. Okay, we're live. This is exciting. So, I'm here in my bedroom, home office, and I was thinking about what is another useful thing that I use in my yoga practice, whether it's my personal practice or with my clients. And the first thing that came to mind is a folded blanket. So, I've got a folded blanket here. Sorry. And what I love about the folded blanket is that most people have something around their house that could work. So I've got like a Mexican blanket. Um, it's used widely in yoga studios and in yoga classes because it is so sturdy. These blankets take kind of a lot of wear and tear, especially because we have to wash them so often, but they're also so soft. So they're easily foldable. They come in beautiful colors, some fringe, and they're also big. Let me show you how big this thing is. I'm going to stand up. Okay, so there's folded out halfway. And if I unfold it all the way, bigger than I can even reach, is this big, beautiful mat. So it definitely will cover most of my yoga mat should I ever want to unroll the mat and lay on it. So it's really nice in the winter months to put your blanket down on the ground on top of your mat, especially if the floor is cold. Also, depending on what you're doing on the ground, sometimes the blanket is nice to slide your limbs on versus the sticky mat. Sometimes things get a little gunked up. So, like I said, just depending on what you're doing, one thing that I love to do with the blanket is just when I'm on the back, maybe even just sliding one arm at a time away from the body to just start to stretch the spine, stretch the sides of the ribs and the side body. This might even help to start get a little bit of movement in the shoulder blades, but I wouldn't be able to move just nice and slow side to side like this on my sticky mat. But on the blanket, the movement is nice and silky. Another thing I love is for meditation to fold the blanket and just put it underneath the hips. A little bit of lifting of the hips for meditation helps us to sit upright in the spine, and it just feels good on the hips. So there's something very comforting about the cushiness of the blanket. And also, if you are wanting to fold forward or even lay back over the folded blanket, it's really supportive for the body, yet it's so soft that you can actually rest on it. So an example of that would be if I were in pigeon pose, that big hip opener that we all love, and I wanted to fold forward, I may take my folded blanket and actually put it up underneath my belly and bring the belly and the chest onto the blanket, and then just turn and relax the head onto the blanket. And it just helps to support the body, and it gives this just cush for the body to relax into so that the mind can rest. Very soothing for the nervous system. And another way that I love to use the blanket is when you lay back. So maybe having the same fold of the blanket, and then you'll turn away from the blanket and you'll start to lay back so the blanket is vertical and it supports your spine. And I love to stretch the legs there or maybe butterfly the knees, but it has a little bit of a back bend quality, and you can actually open up your shoulders and your chest and let your arms relax. So it's a really nice stretch for the front of the body, but we wouldn't get that if we weren't supporting the back of the body. So I encourage you to get a blanket. And for me, the blanket that I use in my personal practice, but used to belong to my grandparents. And it's this beautiful Navajo blanket. And when I use my blanket, which I do pretty much every time, I think of them often, and it just makes me feel connected and whole, and I feel at home. And these are some of the feelings that we should embody every time that we come to our yoga practice. And yeah, so I'd love to maybe even see a picture of your blanket or learn different ways that you like to use your blanket. Anyway, but it's definitely one of my favorite yoga props. And I hope that this has given you just a little bit of inspiration. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.